Now, in Zimbabwe, we do not only have dysfunctional societies, we also have non-functional institutions in our governance. President ED is still in China, and we see these guys there causing a stir on social media. This is the Chinese guy in a discussion with the Zimbabwean guys. We see the Chinese guys taking notes, all of them. Then the Zimbabwe team not taking notes. This is the pictures that are here. There is no need to paint the picture or even the lines that are put here on top. We don't need to read the lines or read between the lines. Are there dots to connect? Okay, let's say the Zimbabwe team, the guys are so brilliant such that they don't need to take notes. What picture does this paint? And who paints the picture? Of course, me, I can manipulate you and influence your opinion by gaslighting to you. Then we see ED in China. He is asked a very hard-hitting question. And how does he respond?
It is my view. Perhaps it is a biased view. If you listen to the Chinese media, yes, oh yeah, you are the people. You are always promotive of your country, of your vision. But in Africa, you would find our media, if you're not careful, influenced by external influence, where they own situation with foreign position, and as a media begin to criticize itself and that it is inferior, it is what, because they are comparing themselves with a foreign situation. The media must anchor itself on the basis of what is available, concrete issues of each respective country, and they promote their own country. Make sure the media must give confidence to every child, every citizen, that Nika Inova Kwanebe.
Now, here we're seeing our Zimbabwe President Emerson Mnangagwa complaining to the media about the media complaining. So, I'm just going to replay it again so we can note where he is lost.
It is my view, perhaps it is a biased view.
It is my view. And then he says perhaps it is biased view. Perhaps it is biased. Anybody is biased. I am biased, you are biased, he is biased. That is his view. One good thing there would be, it is his view. Now, I don't know why he would say it is my view when it is something to do with the media. Remember, the media is all that matters. Remember during the liberation struggle, back then we had Webster Shamu, who was then known as Charles Ndlovu. How he fought in the liberation struggle was through radio broadcasting during the Civil War between 1972 and 1980. He was a presenter on radio Harare. Then he moved to Radio Mozambique, and we get the voice of Zimbabwe from Maputo Radio, the voice of Zimbabwe. from Maputo, from Rovuma to Maputo, that broadcast they're putting on The Voice. That was his role in the liberation struggle. Anyways, we don't want to be talking about the liberation struggle. There is a lot that needs to be rectified about the liberation struggle. A lot of inquiry is needed. I'm not speaking on terms of the Gukura wounding, but I'm speaking in terms of that when you fought in the liberation struggle and you feel entitled, do you remain a hero? Claiming to be more superior, wanting to run things just because you were a hero. You are no longer a hero. It's no longer a sacrifice. The moment you make it about personal gains, you will no longer be a hero. You would be a dissident.
If you listen to the Chinese media,
before we go to if you listen to the Chinese media, he listens to the Chinese media and admires something about the Chinese media, right? He's complaining about complaining on the media. And he says, if I am biased, yes, the bias is there. We have no functional institutions in Zimbabwe. We have dysfunctional societies in Zimbabwe. People, they are suffering. How do they escape from the realities of life? Through lying to themselves. That's how they do that. Do we have functional education system? No, we don't have that. Lack of basic intelligence, emotional intelligence. And yes, it is a culture that is learned. People have grown up from the year 2000. People are traumatized people. They have been through a lot. So yes, it is a damaged people that will speak. How do we deal with it? I'm glad you seem concerned. How do you deal with toxic people? How do you deal with toxic environment? How do you deal with dysfunctional society? What are your priorities? We have corrupt institutions. Corruption is not the exchange of money. Corruption is when something is rotten. When a car engine is no longer moving, it is corrupt. When a tomato is rotten, it is corrupt. When medicine is no longer working, it is corrupt. Of course, we want to be unrealistic realists. We do not want to admit so-called spiritual principles. Corruption happens. The moment you take a bribe, if you're a police officer, once corrupt is corrupt, the system is corrupt. That minute you get tempted, and it's so simple and so subtle and so easy. How do you address it? By addressing it actively. So I wouldn't use the word change, because I will have a biased meaning, and we have a biased meaning in our experience to the word change. And yes, the GNU, we saw some change there. Revolution, paradigm shift, what? So obviously, when people are seeking to be distracted from the realities of life, what do people do? They watch movies. They fantasize. They also love comedy. But they also love drama.
Yes. Oh yeah, you are the people. You are always promotive of your country, of your vision. But in African countries, you would find our...
He says you are always pro-motive, but in African country, we find our. So here, he is speaking with this Chinese journalist. Just take a listen again, how he addresses her. This would help us, give us a view of how Mnangagwa sees himself and sees other people.
Oh yeah, you are the people. You are always...
He says, oh yeah, you are the people.
Media. Yes. Oh yeah. You are...
He says media, and then the person there points to herself, the presenter there. When we see somebody presenting, they may be a presenter, we just assume they're all journalists, whether a TV presenter, an actor, or what.
Media.
The media.
Yes. Oh yeah, you are the people. You are always promotive of your country, of your vision. But in African countries, you would find our media, if you're not careful, influenced by external...
So you would find our media influenced by external, right? So this is the media. We call it legacy media. Social media is not mainstream media. It's not legacy media, but social media is more mainstream than legacy media, or so-called mainstream media. However, when speaking of media, they will be speaking of all that media. However, we can't be focusing on social media. We focus on the people, because the problem is not the problem. People are behaving just how people are behaving.
Influence, where they compare their own situation with foreign positions.
Where they compare their own situation with foreign positions. He says, oh yeah, you are the media. So, when these guys view certain views, problems that may be happening in a nation, they are not convinced. They're not convinced, not necessarily indifferent. When you are so used to people pretending, how do you know when it's not a false alarm that is happening here? We have non-functional health institutions in Zimbabwe. But at least we have the basic, the some aid kit, the way we are operating. Do we have that? Do we have pregnant women giving birth on the floor? It is not common sense to know that there is somewhere where that problem is. So we deal with the problem.
And as a media begin to criticize itself, and that it is inferior, it is what, because they are comparing themselves with a foreign...
Inferiority, then they are comparing. We don't have self-identity as Zimbabweans. We identify as Zimbabweans. We are in an identity crisis. Can you as a Zimbabwean say, I am proud of Zimbabwe? Of course, we have Zimbabweans we are proud of. And just because those Zimbabweans we are proud of them, we identify with them. He's our own. He's our own. But can we say we are proud of what we are now? We haven't achieved anything. We are yet to become a people. We are after 1980. But the struggle must continue.
The media must anchor its of respective country and they promote their own country.
He puts the word pro-motive again. That word wouldn't make any meaning to him. It has its own meaning. He is an employed guy who goes to work every day. He doesn't need to define a motive. Promotive. When he's going to his job, it's his job. He has a sense of ownership. It is his job. Especially this one is president. It is his country. Belonging. Belonging.
Sure, the media must give confidence to every child, every citizen.
The media must give confidence to every child, to every citizen. ZANU-PF members must watch how they speak and not act like they own this country. Those who went to the war must not speak like they are better than everybody else. With that, I sign out. Dr. Clarence is the name. TV7 Live is the channel. Tongo Gara ere, or the struggle continues.